to another episode of Incontrovertible Truth, where we connect with leaders in the business community and government sectors to talk about their experiences, their insights, and what they're working on. And so today we have a very special guest, my good friend and mover and shaker in the Nashville community, Demetrius Short. D, first of all, thank you for joining me and just for your time, first and foremost.
Well, we're glad to be here with you, man. You inspire me, and I'm so encouraged by this conversation we're going to have today. And hopefully it'll inspire somebody through the conversation.
Most definitely. And speaking of inspiration, if you don't mind me putting it out there, I seen you, especially through social media, you just came back from a vacation. Looks like you were relaxing on a cruise, and I just want to highlight that because you're a hard-working man, and you were with your family and just hanging out. I just wanted to get your thoughts. How was that experience, and what was the motivation behind that vacation, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, we take a couple of vacations a year, and cruising, my 24th year cruising, and early on it was for my wife to get me to disconnect. Our honeymoon 24 years ago, she's like, this guy's a national evangelist. He's popular. He's gone. Wait a minute, the phone don't work on the cruise. So she hoodwinked me. Went to the Bahamas, but I learned something. It was like, wow, it was me, her, water, and God.
Wow.
That was it. No internet. I mean, but that's 24 years. So no TikTok, no nothing. It was a way for us to get on this big boat, this hotel on water, and get in one of God's oceans, and just to see the magnitude of the world and just to disconnect. So we're avid cruisers, 2 or 3 a year. This one was just spontaneous. And it was a cry for my family. My daughter's starting college as a freshman. My wife's getting her master's, 4 classes. Me, I'm now back in school at Harvard, CEO. They walked in the room and said, Dad, we need another getaway. I said, credit card, book it. I've learned to value the time to disconnect. I've had 4 friends in the last month die. Shanka just got started in Elvis. Phenomenal singer. Just didn't wake up. 44. Natural. Tiffany Law. So I buried 4 friends under 45 who just didn't wake up. And my thing now is that we got to live for today. Tomorrow's not promised. Maximize. So we took that cruise, 5 days to Cozumel, and I feel refreshed. And I'm going to continue to do that and admonish every leader. You got to spend time with yourself on vacation. As hard as it is to pick up these 2 things, to say, I'm throwing myself here, put them down and be in the moment, and come back rejuvenated, refreshed, and you'll see yourself do and be better.
And that was going to be my next question. What did you take away from that experience and that vacation? But I think you just broke that down very clear, as far as just having to take that vacation, make sure you're spending time with God and your loved ones to come back refreshed. And before we go on, I want to make sure that we recognize, those 4 individuals and their families. They're definitely in our prayers and our hearts.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. And I know your friend, so I know that's, you know what I mean? I know that's something for you, but imagine those families as well. So we definitely want to respect and pay honor to those families and rest easy to those individuals respectfully. And you mentioned 24 years that you've been married, and I just experienced my 11th year, and so I definitely can learn from you if you don't mind, especially for the men and the husbands out there having 24 years of marriage under your belt. What piece of advice would you have for us, as men, to ensure that we have a long, sustainable relationship, and your family's doing big things. You guys are doing a lot of work professionally in the community, education-wise with your daughter. How do you keep that together? And do you have any advice for the young folks out there, the young men especially?
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, I'm transparent. A lot of mistakes. God, as ministers and as men, I'm working hard. I want to do this, and the big mistake that we make is that we allow busyness to impact our effectiveness in the most important places, and that's our homes. So why save the world and lose your family?
And I'm glad you brought that up, because especially as men, being busy, is something that we do, and it's really, it's really praised. I'm a huge fan of the play Hamilton, and in the play they're always saying a mind at work. That's what the women were looking for, a mind at work. And so being busy is a good thing. experience, you're saying, hey, you can't allow that, to affect the foundation that God has placed with you and your family. So I really appreciate that.
Definitely. Being busy can affect the dinner and being present with your wife for the moment.
Okay. Break that down a little bit if you don't mind. Okay.
So it's women, it's presence. We're there and they're talking and it's just a dinner, right? It's a dinner.
Right.
But I'm physically there, but I'm not there. So being present, and one of my mentees corrected me a couple of weeks ago, right after Shaka's funeral. We're eating and enjoying, and he sees me, and he looked me in the eye. He said, "You might not like this, but can I just talk to you for a minute?" He said, "Can you just be present for a moment?" I'm the mentor, but my mentee saw that I'm allowing distraction to stop the moment. And so in our marriages, it is making sure that we block off the time and be intentional about when I come into this house, they don't see Dad. Hey everybody, I'm home. No, you're home physically, but you're not home. And they'll do. And I've lost them. I've lost my daughter's time, and she told me, she's like, "You're here, but you're not here." I have one daughter, 18. I'm helping thousands of kids and college students, and then to lose your one and only because you're busy doing all this, wife. You're here, but you're not here. And when you get that text, hey, maybe I need to text you to schedule a meeting with my husband. That should hit you right in the gut. That they're saying we're not stopping you from being great in what God has called you to do. But again, the most important box, the most important thing, the most important cheerleader that can ever say, "Demetrius, you're great," is that wife and those kids. If I get a bunch of boos from the world and I get "you did a great job, Dad," I win. Because that's the impact. That's where the lights, camera, and action's not there. So what saved me, and here's a tip that helped me turn this thing around. A pastor friend of mine said, "Demetrius, I lost my family, pastor of the church, my daughters, 3 daughters." He said, "This is what I want you to do. What's Amaya's birthday?" I said, "June 9th. He said, "Every night of the month is her day." "What's your wife's birthday?" "June 30th. Every 30th of the day." Look what he just did. He said, "Here's what I did. I just gave you 12 intentional touches." It's her day. She calls the shots. If you want a pizza with Dad, Mom can't come, no phones for that day. She called, "Hey Dad, let's go grab ice cream." She calls the shot and you block everything else off. And that kickstart the intentional and rhythm that she says that Dad gives me this. So if you have 2 or 3 sons, mark that day. They will start to say, "Wait a minute, hey Dad, it's me and Dad's day." Your wife, "Hey, this is your day." And nothing can change it except a disaster, or if it's a mutual change. "Hey honey, something came up at work. Would you mind if Dad changed it from the 9th to the 10th? If she says no, guess what? Sorry, y'all. And that empowers her to believe that she is valued, she is important, and Dad makes her feel that she's more important than anything else. And so I'm doing that now, and making sure that I honor that. And so that's just a little tip that I give for the busy dad to say, be intentional and turn the phone off, turn the world off, and just be present. And they'll remember those moments when they get older. They're gonna remember, "You gave me $20. We try to buy love, right? I mean, kids, they'll pimp that all day long. Get a new phone. No, they're gonna remember Dad. One time a month, I remember sharing that time with me and my dad at the park, or playing checkers, or playing Monopoly, or being home just watching a movie. So I'm doing better at that.
That's absolutely beautiful. I appreciate that. I've never even thought or heard of that. And I'm going to put that in my heart and start applying that as a busy dad myself. And I'm grateful for this interview because this is going to reach, Lord willing, thousands upon thousands. And what I respect most about you, D, is the fact that you are a husband and a father that's taking care of business. And when we put ourselves as men in that position and we're juggling or balancing those two and still being able to have a cohesive household, and nobody's perfect in the house, but just still being able to intentionally try and move forward, those are the things that resonate with me and make me want to connect with men that, have the responsibilities and are working hard to reach those goals of a successful household. So I really appreciate that. That gives me even more respect, for you and your walk.
Most transparent. We got to be real, man. We got to keep it real. We learn. Nobody's perfect, and it took another person's imperfection to help correct and maneuver my imperfections to be better, and we're passing it on to everybody else. That's how we become better men and better role models.
Wow, that's beautiful, and so much going through my mind. So I'm gonna try to stick to the script here because this conversation and how we go, this is really very inspirational for me. Now, I know you mentioned, or you stated earlier, God's calling, for you, and, the work that requires, and also balancing your family. And speaking of God's calling, not too long ago, I happened to see you in specifically Robertson County, and at the Ironman Conference, 2022, Ironman Conference hosted by City of Faith International Church, led by Pastor Robert Gardner and Lady Peggy Gardner. And that men's conference, I had a chance to sit in and experience it along with my sons. And I believe you had a powerful message about being an Iron Man. And I would like for you, if you don't mind, if you can remember. I want to get, now, first of all, Demetrius is a minister. And correct me if I'm wrong. You're a minister, a man of God, a follower of the faith. And I don't want to dismiss that before we get into, as we see on Demetrius' shirt, Steps of Success 5K, the annual Steps of Success 5K. That's why we really want to get into, but we want to just really connect with D and get to know Demetrius, and so that we can get a true impact and understanding of the work that he does in the community. So a man of God, a man of faith, powerful speaker. What was that, the inspiration to your message? Can you break down your message for that men's conference and what you wanted the men to get out of that message, if you don't mind?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I went from drummer to lead pastor. I was young and never thought I'd be a preacher, man. I was going to stay on them drums and just keep the rhythm and leave the responsibility, but God's calling was on my life. Preached my trial sermon in 1996 and pastored and led 6 churches from Cincinnati to Greensboro, and here I am in Nashville in ministry, associate pastor now of a youth at Kingdom Impact Church in Hermitage, and then the nonprofit Transformation Center. All of that, this is my ministry. I'm not a collar and need to put a big chain on, man. We walk it. I'm a jean, put some ripped jeans on, put a t-shirt on and rock it out, be in the streets and everything. But to be called to do Iron Man with Pastor Gardner, an amazing leader, amazing friend. The premise for the message, I thought about Iron Man. I am a sports enthusiast. I'm a runner, marathoner. No, it's not big in our culture to be long distance runners, but when I thought about Iron Man, the text that I took was Job 23:10, and it talked about stay in the process. I wanted the men to understand, don't abort the process. The process is where you are being built, you are being cultivated, and when you come out of the process and don't sustain the process, then you don't become gold. And everybody wants the value of gold, but it's a process that brings the value up. We live in a microwave society. Grandma and them didn't have a microwave. Their food tastes good because they were willing to cook all day. And we want filet mignon in a microwave because we're impatient and we want things so quick, and we don't understand that when you tell the chef great meal, it's because he's laboring, marinating the meat, doing things so that you can sit there and have a buffet. And the world is our buffet. And if we all stay in the process, wow, our children, our communities, our marriages, our families will get the best of us, not the undone piece of us, not the half-hearted, but the gold part of us. So when you look at Job and the text for Job 23:10, he says, though I try you, you shall come out as pure gold. He said, when I try you. So it's going to come. And the whole thing was the premise of a marathon. I said, Lord, I'm a runner. How can I run 4 hours straight in a marathon, 2 miles, and nonstop? An Ironman is a 3-sport thing. It is a swim, a bike, a run. And again, look up Ironman. It's one of the most enduring feats in the world to complete a full Ironman. It's a 2.4-mile swim, not in the pool, in the ocean.
Wow.
So you're in the ocean with tens of thousands of people, so it's dark, so it's swimming where the waves are coming at you, so you're swimming. And that's start number one. Then you get out the water and think you're going to quit. No, then you change and jump on a bike for an 150-mile bike. Then you ain't done. Then you get off the bike and then you do a full marathon, 26.2. This could be a 17 to 18-hour event. And people fly all over the world to do this and get that medal that says, I am an Ironman. So it's 3 phases, and it's a process. And being a good swimmer doesn't help you if you're a bad biker. Being a biker doesn't help you if you're a bad swimmer. It takes processing all 3 and finishing to be able to get that medal. So that's what we want as men. It's a process. It's going through spiritual, emotional, mental, physical. It's following up and saying, Lord, whatever it takes for me to be good in these areas of my life, to get the crown, to get the well done, I have to submit to the process. And you don't become an Ironman overnight. People train 1.5, 2 years. I'm about to start training to do my first Ironman. Wow. I did a sprint, a little mini one. It was a 1,600-meter swim in a pool, a little 5-mile bike, and a little 5K. And I struggled in that. So I'm going to start in October to train for the Ironman Louisville 2023, to jump in the Ohio River in Louisville and swim, to get off and bike 150 miles, and then run a full marathon at 50 years old next year.
Wow.
And a process. We get up at 4 in the morning while you're sleeping, we're running. Our trainers are on a bike and pull us, and we're running. Come on, D, let's go. It's a rigorous process, but the reward, if we stay in the process, is great. And that's what we wanted the men at the Ironman process. Do not abort. The process is where you find yourself. I talked about that tube of toothpaste. Like Grandma, I used to throw the toothpaste away. Grandma, get that toothpaste. Like, no, there's still some more in there. But to get that, you have to roll it up, right? And you have to squeeze the process. And what comes out? It comes the same thing from the first word. It's the same thing on the last one, but the last one took effort. It took pain. It took pressure. Everything you're going through in life right now, it's God squeezing and trying to get the best. You'll never write that book unless you went through what you went through. Colin Powell says, before I became Surgeon General of the world, his first job was mopping up soda pops that burst in a dark little room that nobody saw, and God took him from that room and his faithfulness to one of the most powerful men in the world. Why? Because he acted like he was a general when he was slurping up Faygo pop. And so the process, we want his success, but we don't want to be committed. So I wanted men to understand. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. Nobody's belittling the tears. But man, you're going to come forth as gold if you stay in the process. So that was my whole message for Ironman. To be an Ironman, you can't just do one thing. You can be disqualified if you don't compete and complete all 3. Be an Iron Man, be an Iron Woman in life. That's what the message was all about.
Listeners, do you see? I'm listening to Demetrius. A lot of things come to my mind. One is your network is your net worth. And I really appreciate, this is a really good relationship building moment for Demetrius and I, because we've always been fans of one another, but we're intentionally having a conversation now is really deeper than planned, you know? But this is good for me because I'm going through situations in my life where you are confirming that process. And I think that was a great example of General Colin Powell, where he started and where he is. And that's just, it's not about particularly where you, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a process of where you're supposed to be. That's the thing, you know? And so, but you still have to work, you know, at that level where you're going to be at the very beginning and through that process. And like you said, with your family, intentionally get better, intentionally make sure you're present and what that looks like. So that's beautiful. I definitely want to shout out one more time City of Faith International Church, the men's Ironman conference. This is the type of meat and food or food. I'm sorry, my apologies. Food that you are going to digest spiritually. If you don't mind, too, Demetrius, can you give a shout out to your church that you are associate pastor to one more time, just in case folks that are in that area are able to stop by and hear a word, if you don't mind.
Definitely, yep. So Pastor Greg and Tavia Johnson, Dr. Greg, they just got their temperament counseling degrees. So Dr. Greg and Tavia Johnson at Kingdom Impact Church, 4201 Old Hickory Boulevard. We're right in the Old Hickory Hermitage. We're about 2 minutes from the President Andrew Jackson's home, the Bounce House. We're right there going into Lakewood. Big church on the corner. We are live first and third Sundays. We are virtual second and fourth. Have a thriving college ministry, youth ministry. But we just love God. It's all about kingdom impact, impacting the community. So I serve there, and that's my best friend. We preach our trial sermons together. Our fathers were best friends. My dad taught his dad how to teach Sunday school 50 plus years ago. So we're connected at the hip. It's a joy to do ministry with my friend, but he's serious. Dr. Greg is serious about kingdom impact. If we're just having church and not making any impact, then we're just cohabitating. God called us to make an impact in our Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and into the othermost parts of the world, and that's what our focus is. 4201 Old Hickory Boulevard, Kingdom Impact Church.
Wow. So I mean, you already see what Kingdom Impact Church is bringing to the table respectfully through the work and vessel that of Demetrius and others. So make sure you look. We'll get a link down there as well, so folks can check it out. It's just again so much going through my mind, but I don't want to dismiss that great example of, and a lot of folks respectfully, and at one point myself included, ate microwave food as far as your analogy and thought it was the bomb. But when you really, like you said, get a chance to really cook and marinate, how much more tasteful and sweeter that meal is. And that's a great analogy for our life. So I just want to make sure that we caught that and everything that you're saying. I mean, I'm just lost for words right now, to be honest with you, D. Definitely lost for words. And let's talk about this as far as just your work, and the work that you're doing. I believe you mentioned Transformation Life Center before, and let's go ahead and elaborate on that if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit about Transformation Life Center and your role with the organization.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking at a man that, again, I never give a meal that I don't taste first. So my life is tested and tried. I'm not a gimmick guy and come up with things. I always, as a mother does, what mother who loves her child takes a bottle out of the, they used to boil it, right, to get it warm. Mm-hmm. And what do the mothers do? They put it right on their wrists. Mm-hmm. They take it first, because if it's going to burn anybody, it's going to burn my one, and not my child. So I take everything that I cook. I love the grill. Hey, if it ain't good for me, I'm never going to feed it to you, my friend. I'm going to say, nah, this ain't good enough for Lord Danavan. This ain't good. So I am where I am because of trial and because of processing, because of pain. I started Transformation Life Center unbeknownst to me. I was a 3-sport, All-American. I'm like football, baseball. I thought my track was going to be go to the NFL, go to the major leagues. I ended up at Fisk University with no scholarship. I started wearing suits in the 5th grade to be like my dad. Again, I'm one of 6 beautiful children, mom and dad in the house with preacher's kids, growing up in the faith. We were the model citizens in the community. But God had another track to get me to where I was. He was like, I'm going to rock your world. I look back now like, wow, you did rock it. And it started with me matriculating from high school down to Fisk with no scholarship. But I had this suit and alligator scout. I looked the part, right? I'm sharp. I wore suits all through high school. Got to Fisk University. First day, briefcase, sharp, blue suit on. They thought I was a teacher. They said, you look old. And I said, no, I'm 18. Put my wallet down. Man, he is 18. Wow, man, you checked. It's that presence though, wow. And people wouldn't even come around. They thought I was a teacher. But that was the rapport and the brand that God was building unbeknownst to me to where I sit today. That suit and wearing that suit and going through that homelessness and sleeping on a friend's couch and 3.6 GPA down to a 1.8, in and out of school, and nobody knowing it, just hiding it, putting that fake smile on every day, putting that suit on. Man, I just took a shower, a wash up in my friend's sink at Fisk, and I'm not even registered for school. I went through all of this chaos, and finally graduated, got my dream job at IBM, sent me to Carolina. I came back making $62,000 a year, and this is in 1996, a lot of money, and I came back to Fisk with that same suit on, and I used to walk from Fisk to my internships in that briefcase, those gaiters. Nobody knew that I was walking. I hit it, and I was going through Hermosa and through the hood. It was the hood, but back then it wasn't the gold. You didn't go there. God protected me. Never had any altercations other than a couple of dogs chasing me.
Okay.
Because a black man with a briefcase and gaiters on walking through that hood.
I can imagine, respectfully.
I could have easily been a statistic, but God covered. But to wrap up where I am to answer the question, all of that, when I came back a successful IT professional, double major in computer science and business, making $62,000 a year, a beautiful wife, I walked the same route that I walked as a struggling student, and I was mad at God. I'm screaming. Why did I have to give this way? I mean, I'm crying out to God, tears coming down. Why did I have to give it this way? And it was there He spoke. Every step you took was a step towards your success. I was testing you. And there is when the Steps of Success 5K was birthed, and where I vowed to run 3.1 miles in a suit and sneakers, cufflinks, tie, 3 miles every year to help commemorate my struggle, right? About me, keep me in check. Don't ever forget where you came from. Now I'm giving away $30,000 and $40,000 in college scholarships, students, and I'm vowed to the day I die, I will run that race. So they see success. It causes them to ask, why is this black man in a suit running fast? I'm doing it in 23 minutes. Because I want these students to know, don't you ever give up on this dream. I don't know who I'm talking to right now. Don't you ever give up on that dream. I know you want to quit, but don't you get. My story is about perseverance. I wouldn't be a CEO of Transformation Life Center if I quit. God had a purpose. I didn't understand the thing. But look at me now. I look back and laugh like, God, you a bad boy. My God, you set me up, but I wouldn't change anything.
Wow.
I speak with power. I speak with influence. I speak from where people are and not from where they can be. I know what homeless is. I know what it's like to be hungry and don't have food. I know what it's like to walk like John Lewis 3 and 10 miles to get a ride back to Hermitage in a suit when you've been studying all day long. And now, Transformation Life Center is to ignite and inspire and transform lives. My tragedy is now the biggest platform for me to help God and the kingdom ignite purpose, inspire success, and transform the lives of African-American collegiate students and youth living in underserved communities. That's my calling, to be that crazy black man, to run in that suit and get collegiate students in think tanks, in TED Talks, in workshops, and mentoring, to get them through college, spit them out to a big world that will eat them up because they're black and they got to work hard. We educate them about being black in corporate America, and we ask them, you repay us by going back into the underserved community, into the hood, and serve and show these little beautiful black girls and boys that you can be somebody. And that's how we signal our cycle of success, is me giving back, our board giving back to college students, these college students going by the thousands into the hood, into that single parent home, into that boy's house whose mom told you you'll never be nothing like your no good dad. We snatch him up and say you can be somebody. And Transformation Life Center is going to help transform your life. 12 years and we're still rocking. I'm proud.
First of all, you said you know who you're speaking to. At the minimum, you're speaking to me. First of all, I'll tell you that. Because nobody knows what, like you said, we put a smile on, nobody knows what people really are going through. You know what I mean? And so it's a very divine moment. You're speaking to me at the minimum. There's so much going through my mind. I've noticed, and I've seen promotional material of you in a suit with shoes on running, tennis shoes. And I didn't know truly what that was about. And I mean, that's what was your life at one point, to the point where it's been transformed through the process to change lives on a greater scale.
You nailed it. A bigger scale. I'm a computer science. I can make a bunch of money in IT.
Right. At this time too.
I'm healthcare. I'm 28 years healthcare software. I can, and my bosses know, Demetrius, you're not called to be an IT specialist. Wow. You're called to be a world changer. And they know, I'm honest with them. They know when I open my mouth. You ain't made this you're in cold. Man, you got a mouthpiece. You need, and they work with me. The president of Cigna runs in a suit with me.
Wow.
Yeah. What impact for the president of Cigna?
Absolutely.
To run. So they understand it. I accept my calling, and there's bigger and better things that we're going to do. Not only in Nashville, but we feel this is a global thing. Transformation Life Center has been a blessing to us, the programs that we have.
Wow. That's beautiful. You mentioned so Cigna. You know, you have private sector support. My next question was, how can the private sector financially support, or through human capital? What does that process look like, and where can they go to get that process started?
Man, I tell you, nonprofits, it's tough. You know, we have to raise a bunch of money, and we have to give a bunch of money away. They want money for programming and not staff. So we got, and then they want us to do all this in the hood. Our kids are not getting dropped off in Teslas. Yep. You know, grandma got 2 babies on the hips after the men. They ain't eating in 2 days. You know, they want me to do this for $10.50 an hour.
Wow.
It's systematic, but that's for a whole other thing. They don't want transformation, but no, that's for a whole other conversation. But we have to fight that. We need our corporations who believe in the struggles that we've gone through. We may never get a check for what, you know, the 400 years that we've given, but you can do your part by finding a nonprofit in the community and attach to them and say, you know what, we want to help fund the program. We want to help provide a scholarship or do whatever. What can we do to help? So we're calling all. We just submitted $180,000 worth of grants. We've done all this with grassroots with no major funding. Fifth Third Bank has now given us over $100,000 over. They are with me at the hip. Wow. They provide funding for financial literacy. They gave me a check for $40,000 at the race last year because they said this boy right here is doing the work. So we're calling all entrepreneurs. Find a nonprofit organization based on your struggle. We all autism, cancer, grandma down through cancer. Find an organization that impacts that, and your $2,000, $10,000 that you support to them helps us take the stress off of us trying to fund what we do. Put us in a position to do what we do. That's how we're calling out our corporations and people who can fund us to help us fuel these missions. We need to fuel it. What good is a Lamborghini with no gas? You ain't going nowhere. You're going to look pretty.
Right. And so I definitely hear you loud and clear on corporations having to fuel, you know, these initiatives. And so if you don't mind, where can folks go on LinkedIn? If we're playing this on LinkedIn right now, we're challenging you and congratulating the private sector in advance on fueling Transformation Life Center. This is a beautiful story. This is coming from the heart. And again, it got to a point with Demetrius' story to where now he's able to take away the busyness and truly dedicate to his family as well. So this is a whole holistic transformation here, which I can really understand. Transformation Life Center. That name. I mean, it's
the most powerful word in the world. To become.
Yeah.
Wow. What would your house look like if everybody became what they believed they could become?
I'm getting goosebumps. It's not like this because especially with all due respect, especially in the Black and Brown community, it's this is necessary. It's essential. The Black and Brown community is doing a great job, but we can always get better. We can always push the needle, and this is why I'm challenging and congratulating the private sector in advance to pour into the Transformation Life Center. This is the leadership that we have available right now, and with the little resources that Transformation Life Center has, they've been able to do great things. And obviously, we thank the current sponsors and donors, much respect. And we're challenging the private sector that's listening and watching to reach out to Transformation Life Center to get that process started. If you don't mind, Demetrius, how can these sponsors or potential donors get in contact with you? Is there a website they can go to? What's that process look like?
And I'll tell you, this is great, and I'll lay out our buckets. I mean, we have VSP Vision glasses. They're flying from California to be at our race in 2 weeks. Donating $5,000, going to come and give free glasses to our Brown Boys. They found the bridge because it's education, leadership, health, and wellness. Our mission statement is ignite, inspire, and transform the lives of African-American collegiate students and youth living in underserved communities through education, wisdom, leadership. Our kids are going to be front of the class, not back. John Lewis's, Malcolm X's. And then what? What good is it to be educated and be a John Lewis and you're diabetic and can't fulfill what you do? It's the holistic process to produce the amazing new Black leaders. W.E.B. Du Bois is a statue at Fisk University. He can do no more for us. Where is the next one? Guess what? They're coming out of Transformation Life Center, and your investment to educate, to help us cultivate leaders, and then we have the health and wellness sector, right? Hospitals or doctors who say, hey, I want to come in and do a workshop on your BMI or being young and knowing about, I didn't know about BMI. I'm just an athlete, man. Now I'm learning this hurt, that hurt, and I'm 49. And I'm like, wow, how did I get here? So you can follow us at transformationlifecenter.org. That's the parent organization. And then we have the Steps of Success. This is our annual 5K fundraiser. We did 60,000. This needs to get to a $100,000 event. We're out in the park. The mayor's coming in 2 weeks. We got all types of vendors. You can go to stepsofsuccess5k.org. And then all of our programs, our Brown Boys Read initiative, our P2SI Pathway to Success Leadership Academy. Those are our two staple programs where it's literacy, leadership, and health and wellness of 2nd through 5th grade Black and brown boys who are reading below the 3rd grade literacy rate. Metro Nashville Public Schools gives us hundreds of boys who are reading. We got 5th graders who can't speak up. They're passing them through the system. Who are they going to become? They're going to be followers. Let's go rob a bank. I can't read. Okay, cool. I don't know who my daddy is. Negative attention is some attention. We've got to combat that. So we get these young boys. We read for an hour and a half with Black role models, and then we take them out for a run. And after 10 weeks, they run in the race with me and get that big battle sense of accomplishment, the tears. Mama, I did something. I ran with Mr. Short. It's all that exposure to a bigger world than what they're seeing. Our Pathway to Success Leadership Academy, if corporations want to help cultivate future leaders, you have our colleges. We take about 100 students a year. We do 10 workshops on networking, overcoming adversity, Black and corporate America, finesse your finances. We're taking 16 to 22-year-olds and we're giving them, and you can partner by coming in to facilitate a program, helping to help us get more kids. We turned down 86 applications from Fisk University alone. They're trying to get in this academy because they're saying, Mr. Short, that degree and piece of paper is not going to guarantee me a job. So we are getting students and companies are hiring out of Transformation Life Center. Why? Because we're 99% Black. We're happy to say that we are focusing on that Black and brown community. So if you have a diversity, equity, and inclusion piece to your private sector organization, get your African American and Black resource group to meet with us, and we can create a pipeline to talent so that now HCA just hired 4. Cigna hired 2 Black females. Guess what? The Lakers just called and hired one of our new graduates, fresh off of our thing, that he will be a data analyst with the Los Angeles. Just called me this morning. I'm the Lakers to be. So they're hiring out of TLC because they believe in what we do. We are truly preparing leaders. Our average GPA in our leadership academy is like 3.5. Wow. But because they have a 3.5 doesn't mean they're equipped to lead.
Right.
Look how young John Lewis was, but he had an MLK to sow into him. That's what we do. So transformationlifecenter.org. You can hit that submit button on that form. Contact us. We spent 40 minutes with VSP yesterday with their ERG group. We were just blown away by all the things they want to create a pipeline to future Black optometrists.
Wow.
Because it's so low. Guess what? They're going to host a leadership cohort with 5 sessions in the fall to help incubate the future Black optometrists out of they don't have to go find the kids. We have them. We just present it to them, provide the workshop virtual or in person. They're flying from California. Nashville, don't let them outdo us here. This is about
to say that. Yep.
They're investing in Nashville and going to fly 7 board members here to meet with me in 2 weeks. You better be at that race because there's going to be a whole lot of sponsors on September 10th who are partnering, and we need more. Here's my call. I turned down 86 applications. I get a text every day, Mr. Short, can I get into your academy? We got to take the academy from 25 to 50. That's our simple goal. It's a stretch and do multiple cohorts so we can get in front of more kids. It's $52,000 a semester for the cohort. Okay. Each student gets a $1,000 scholarship to break down some of that financial pressure for school. And then we do the Leadership Academy, putting them face to face with some of the most impressive thought leaders who they would never get in front of if it wasn't for us. Wow. And then they come. Wow. What if companies invested $25,000 and made sure that cohort happened and gave me another opportunity to go to another campus? That's how simple it can happen. A lot of people doing a little gets a whole lot done. Join us.
Wow. And we just, again, thank the private sector and those companies that are watching and listening to reach out to Transformation Life Center. I mean, this is the story. I mean, this story is so beautiful and so inspiring. I'm literally lost for words. And real quick, before we get into the steps of Success 5K, and you have been mentioning Black Men Running a lot, during this conversation. And I want to say I've seen you with the Black Men Run organization, if you don't mind. Are you able to break that down a little bit about Black Men Run?
Yes.
And how that, and we can transition to that 6 steps for Success 5K.
Yes, gun violence is not killing Black men; it's health. It's heart attack, hypertension, and disease. That's the biggest killer of African American men. Jason Russell and Ed Walton down in Atlanta, 2 men were running at Piedmont Park. And, again, you go to the Music City Marathon, there's 50,000 runners. I see a Black man, I'm like, hey, come on, man. This is not our thing.
I hear you on that one.
It's not our thing. Let's be real. But Black Men Run started in Atlanta, and here we are going into our 10th year next year.
Wow.
We are the largest Black male run organization in the world. 50-plus chapters of men who just dedicate a couple hours a week to walk and run to create a healthy brotherhood. We're not listed as a run club. We use running, walking, and jogging to promote a healthy brotherhood. I have 73-year-old men who run 5Ks in 22, 23 minutes.
Wow.
70 ripped grandfathers like I want to see my grandkids. I don't want to die. If it takes a walk a week or whatever, so people look at me running fast, it's not about what you do for me. Black Men Run was created to help combat the disease and epidemics in the African American community. Again, hypertension, mental health, diabetes, it is killing us at a higher rate than gun violence. Don't be fooled. So the doctors say a healthy walk 1 or 2 times a week is going to help combat those things. So we run and walk here in Nashville. I'm the Nashville captain. For 9 years, we meet at Rosa Parks on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. We meet at Rosa Parks on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. So an evening run, get off of work. My wife and daughter know I don't come home on Tuesdays. They don't expect me for dinner. Dad is getting a mental break. I put all my pressure in 20, 30, 40 men, Black men. White men come too. The ladies are coming. And we put all our pressures. We walk 3 miles, sometimes a mile. You get in where you fit in. Black Men Run has done an amazing job. And the whole board is coming to my race. They're going to be here for 5 days in Nashville to check out all that we're doing because we are a pretty high visibility chapter. But there's 54 chapters all over the world. You can find us on Black Men Run on Facebook, Instagram, Black Men Run. For our chapter, it's Black Men Run Nashville. You can join it. It's men only. We have a Black Girls Run. They're our sisters, so the men and the women, we come together during the week. Aunties and uncles, we're all walking together, walking down the street, and the community sees Black men and women. They want to be part of that to help us control and combat the disease. That's I'm down 15 pounds. I'm looking at my shirt. This was a large size. I'm gonna be in a medium by the race. Going from 216 to 185, just walking and running in 2 months.
Wow. And like you said, I mean, first of all, congratulations. That's beautiful. Like you said, what does it all mean if we don't have that health and wellness piece? Respectfully, you know, what does it all mean? And also respectfully, when it comes to seeing a group of Black men and women, doing something constructive, I know firsthand, or I feel I know firsthand, people will look outside and what's going on over here? It's a beautiful sight. I did a community cleanup a few weeks ago and went to a pretty rough neighborhood and picked up some trash. And I know the lady that was dropping off the mail lady, actually stopped her route, came back around and said, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for what you're doing. This is just a beautiful sight to see. So I'm just thinking of that when I'm hearing men and women getting up early in the morning or after work to come together to do something constructive, not only health and wellness wise, but to build and connect with young folks. And so that's just very heartfelt and appreciate, what you're doing on that.
And let me say, we run, I said Rosa Parks because our motto is we don't run through our community, we run with it. But we walk, when we run up Jefferson Street with that big black, you should see the humps. People are like, they're like, Black Lives Matter. We laugh. Yep. But to see 30 Black men, the cops will get behind us sometimes and put the rocky, they're like, who are you all?
Right.
That impact to see Black men not robbing, not belittling our women, not cussing and calling them bees and hoes. We are running up Jefferson Street, through North Nashville, down Buchanan. Every now and then we stop, talk to the little homies. Man, hey, what y'all doing, man? Yep. What that, man? Come on, what you doing, man? Hey, man, I'm just trying to, we put our arms around them. Grandma comes off the porch. Take a picture with you all. We run through our community to inspire our community to be better in our health. What good are you in the grave? We all have a number and a dash and a question mark. Man, I'm trying to live, and if it takes me to walk an hour a week to show God that I love this one body you gave me, there's no second chances here. I'm going to have my butt out at Black Men Run, and I'm going to walk. And again, don't let the run. We just got our walk-in clothes. One of our most elite. If you go to our page, Walter Harris is a multi-time Ironman. He's committed to be our walk coach and start men at walking. Every Tuesday he's there. He's going to walk with you 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. Man, over 2-3 months, you'll be sitting here like, Demetrius, I'm sleeping better. I'm feeling better. I feel better when I come home. I'm not so agitated, and my wife is seeing a difference in my persona. So Black Men Run has been a life-changing. We got guys who have lost. Marcus Terrell lost over 150 pounds in less than a year. Totally unrecognizable. From his license, just changing that diet, running with us. Man, he's faster than me now. He started at 16-minute now. In less than a year, he's running a 7-minute and 24-second minute mile.
Wow.
I'm putting in work. Let's do it. 2 times a week ain't going to hurt you.
Ain't going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. And definitely want to make sure listeners, if they're in the Nashville area, to connect with Demetrius Short and his team for Black Men Run and get out there on Tuesday or Saturday. But you have a chance to connect with Demetrius. And again, before we get into that, I don't want to dismiss optometrists. Those are
ESP. Yep.
Those are underrepresented professions. That Demetrius is really introducing a whole community to, and the private sector is recognizing that. So I don't want to dismiss that. Folks coming, board members and businesses coming all the way out from California for the work that this man is doing and his team is doing when it all started on those same streets back when he was homeless and someone told me I don't know if I was watching on TV or something, but someone was said, you really don't build a relationship with God until you're almost screaming at him, and you really, wow. and you're really, because now it's real. And so when I heard you say that, and then God spoke back to you, that really resonated with me. So that's why I wanted to just throw back out there. When you say you don't know who is listening or who this is for, I know at the minimum it's for me, at the minimum, as well as the other listeners. So I really appreciate that. Really, I mean, I'm almost going to hold my tears. To be honest with you, because people and men and we put our all into things, and we always want to make sure we stay positive, but it does get challenging, So to get these kind of confirmations, or to make sure you surround yourself with men or women, or if you're man with other men, to lift you up or to do something to take your mind off situations is so powerful. And then as you can see, the men that you're dealing with and you're talking with and talking to, they're going to give you good food. Like, hey, make sure what's your spouse's or your child's birthday. One time a month. This is good food physically, spiritually, mentally. It's just a beautiful thing. And so you have a chance to connect with our friend Demetrius Short in 2 weeks at this Steps of Success 5K. As you heard, he has board members, businesses, companies, sponsors coming down. So this is an opportunity for you to not only build a healthy relationship with Demetrius and the organization, the programs that he has, but also give you a chance to and like I said, for the kids, after they go through the program, it's creating memories. It's creating, it's things beyond what they see. So again, I just want to really tie in everything that Demetrius is saying for us to really get that message. And for that reason, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you have if you just have a product or service that you're looking to promote, Demetrius, if you don't mind, for that 5K, I heard you mention even like the mayor's office and different parks and recreation. It's going to be a lot of brands there. Is there an opportunity for folks to become a vendor, for this 5K, or what does that process look like?
Yes, indeed. We have sponsorship opportunities. It's not too late. It's never too late. We had a title sponsor come a week before the race 3 years ago and gave us $10,000 because they heard about it. They said, "Oh no, we need to be there. We're putting you in the middle of the community with 1,000 people." Again, I had a CEO walking the stoop with me last year. He said, he kept doing this. I said, "Wait," he said, "Demetrius, I ain't never seen this many black people walking and running in this."
Beautiful.
And he's like, "This is amazing," because he's a successful black entrepreneur and he doesn't see this. And he's like, "You got something here." So he's on board. Vendors, we normally charge $250. We know the times are tough. We pivoted from COVID. We sit medals we all are hurting. So we're for $150. And if you're an entrepreneur, like, you know what, I'm struggling, I want you with that rate, reach out to me. You can go to Steps of Success 5K. .org/vendors, and that whole page is a form for you to submit 4 simple questions: first name, last name, organization, and then you can pay the $250, $150, or it says other. Make a donation. We're going to meet you where you are. Trust me, when you come out and see the value add, we have a party. I mean, we run. We got little babies running. You got grown men running. You're going to see over 300 college students from T.S. Harry Fisk. They all get free tickets. Wow. We're working on a partnership with Nashville State right now. I'll be with Dr. Jackson next week. Wow. Fisk just registered 80 students in 2 days. Wow. So we're bringing all these college students. You're going to meet them there. You're going to meet our board. We're going to put you right in the heart of East Nashville. The course is flat, no hills. In fact, it's a great course. It is certified. If you're an elite runner, it's certified where you can, if you're running and giving points for Boston Marathon, we can put your code in, so we cover all checks. It's a serious race, a fun run. But vendors, we have vendor spots. Our vendor coordinator will reach out to you after you submit, and we will get you at a spot. The race starts at 7:45. It's early because the heat here, people die at races every year. We're not going to have our babies and you out in the community at 10, 11 o'clock Nashville, because it's Nashville hot chicken, but it's Nashville hot too for runners. So we start early, and we want you to get back to your families on Saturday, not miss your son's football and baseball games. So start at 7:45. Vendors can set up anywhere between 6 o'clock and 7:45. The 5K starts at 7:45. And then the 1 mile family fun walk with grandmas pushing their grandchild You go around the beautiful Sevier Lake, one beautiful mountain, the ducks, the pictures. I mean, the shots are just amazing. You're putting all your anxiety under your feet. You can set up a group for your family. Bring your whole family out. We have group rates. Your companies. We have companies. HCA sets up a team. It's team building. They bring out people to set up tents, to walk in the race. Fifth Third Bank, VSP is getting their runners all over the world, and it's virtual. I can't make it. Select the virtual ticket. We will mail the medal to you, and you can run anywhere. We have runners in Japan and Hawaii this year. You can't miss it. So vendors come out, sponsorship. There is a sponsorship page. Title sponsor, we go from $20,000 down to a simple $500 Ignite partner that gets you into the event, and then you can build from there. So look at that sponsor packet. Again, $500 up to $20,000. There's a place for you to fit in. Sponsors are open, so reach out to us, and we hope to get you there.
I mean, well, there it is, people. Loud and clear. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever this video will be played. This is an opportunity for you to not only connect with Demetrius Short and his team, but also to connect with possibly your target audience, to get the word out. So make sure you give us that website one more time for the 5K, if you don't mind, Demetrius.
It's stepsofsuccess5k.org. Or you can go to transformationlifecenter.org, and they both work together. So you can go directly, Steps of Success 5K, or you can go to Transformation Life Center and see all that we do and click the Steps of Success and get to that link. Our mantra is, it's more than a race. It's a pathway to success. When kids run the race, it's symbolic of life. It's never straight. There's hills and valleys and barriers. But with TLC on their side, we break down those barriers in life as the road is and help create a pathway to success for the Black brown community. We need you and hope you'll be out there with us. And I'm running in a suit for the 12th year.
Wow, that's beautiful, very inspiring. So much going through my mind, and we're definitely have to do another show if you don't mind, Demetrius.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do another one. Before we let you go, don't want to take too much of your time. Do you have anything that we may have missed, or I guess some words of wisdom? Like, you've been dropping knowledge all day, but anything we've missed, or any words of wisdom that we can hold on to before we get out of here?
Yeah, I have a quote that I'll share that's just impressing upon me to talk to you and the audience. It's obstacles are just speed bumps. So obstacles are just speed bumps. They're never intended to stop you. They just momentarily delay you. So somebody right now is about to go over a speed bump at the mall. It never stops your car. It's not intended to. But an obstacle is nothing but a speed bump that just momentarily slows you down because you're entering an area and a zone where the value of life is priceless. So where you're going, and God just has to slow us down sometimes to let you know you're so great, you're so powerful. If you endure hardness as a good soldier, not meant to stop you. I've never seen a car hit a bump and just roll back like, oh, well, I can't go. No, you just hit the gas, come over, and then what? You continue. So remember, in life, obstacles, and all of us face obstacles. All of us. I'm facing some right now. I got two. I'm going to get off this call, and I got medals to come. I've got tomorrow do this. I got all of this. I'm on a full-time job. My anniversary is Sunday, August 28th. What am I going to do with my boo this weekend and all of this? Obstacles are just speed bumps. Don't let it stop you. It wasn't intended to stop you. It just delays you, but delay is never denied. So pursue, go forth, forget those things which are behind you. Manufacturers of cars give you a big front window and spend more money on the front window than they do on the side view. They give you this big window and give you a small little window for you to do what? Nobody drives a car through the side view mirrors. They spent more money on that big window because guess what? They're more interested in where you're going than where you have been. So they minimize your past and maximize because they want you in that Tesla. They want you in that Honda. They want you in that Hyundai. You're going to get to where you're going, and here's the periphery that you have. Glance every now and then, right? I'll look back at my story elevated Negro, that you won't reach back. No, I got to remember my past to keep me humble to say, don't you ever get too big for your britches to forget there's somebody that needs your story. So pursue, get over that obstacle, pull your britches up, and keep on going, because God believes in you, and so do we at TLC.
We receive 100%. Thank you so much for your insight, your time, sharing your story, Demetrius. I've had high respect for you, but it's even more just listening to the perseverance in your story, the message to uplift others, and the work that you're doing throughout the United States and around the world. Like you said, you can virtually run Hawaii, Japan, so you're already a world leader. And so we see and recognize and thank you for that. Make sure that you check out Transformation Life Center. Make sure you check out Black Men Run, as well as Black Men Run Nashville, and make sure you are signing up for Steps of Success 5K, either to obviously run or walk. Either you want to take it seriously or if you just want to enjoy yourself. We thank you, private sector, for sponsoring, as well as those that click that link to become a vendor. I mean, they lowered this, what it sounds like, that vending fee. They lowered it or dropped $100 off that price to $150. It's really no excuse. Make sure you get out there to connect with Demetrius and the work that he's doing. And again, we just stand in agreement with just covering you and just the work that you're doing. And we as a world recognize and appreciate, what you're doing. And we congratulate your family and congratulate your daughter in advance for her success as she moves forward. Congratulate you and your wife and your continued success and your anniversary coming up. And the work that you both continue to do, because what makes you great, she's right there with you. So we know, so it's a whole effort. So we see it glowing in and through you. We receive, and we just can't thank you enough for your time today.
I'm humbled and honored for you to share your time with me. It could have been anyone. You're a role model to me. I watch you and I've watched you for years, and for God to divinely bring us back for this time in this season. It's an honor to serve with you. So I love you. I appreciate you. I'm here for you to hold you up. I'm going to be a Joshua and for you as they went through Moses.
Receive. And so this, again, thank you so much, D. We receive 100%. I'm lost for words. I have goosebumps, and so I'm going to definitely take this message and put it in my heart. This is just another episode of Incontrovertible Truth. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself earlier because I wanted to jump right into the conversation. Lord Danavan Hylton here. And when I say Lord, Lord of Glencoe, which is private land in Scotland through Highland Titles. And the work that I'm doing, like Demetrius, will be worldwide. And so looking to work with African diaspora countries, looking to get Black Men Run in African diaspora countries, Steps of Success. Africa, so this is already, and so in those cultures, especially in UK, Lord as a title, either being landowner or a master of a profession. Like Demetrius said, the rearview mirror is smaller, but that windshield is huge, and so we have to make sure we are looking forward. And I just see myself through the process that's been written in my heart to do worldwide work. And just a fun fact, having that title helps, it's just the icebreaker. It doesn't have any weight. It's not faith-based. And I just want to throw that out there as respect to, the faith-based organizations. And again, D, we just thank you so much and just put our hands on you and stand with you and cover you and give thanks to the Most High for what he continues to do in your life. And your story is just amazing and very inspiring. And wishing you a great rest of the day, a relaxing time when you can. And we thank you for continuing to stay busy as well.
Well, thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
More than welcome, D. You guys take it easy.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.